Hi, I'm Nick and this is the TbT channel. In today's video I have something a little bit different. Now, I've been shooting for over 40 years now. A lot. I enjoy shooting. I've always enjoyed shooting. I've always done it before everything else. It has always been my top pastime, joy, love, shooting. I love it. I've done an awful lot over the years and I will shoot anything. Air guns, full bore, potato guns, squirt guns. It really doesn't matter. I just enjoy the whole experience of shooting. And over those 40 plus years, there's very little I haven't had or used. Okay, it's just one of those things. I've been actively involved in it all of that time, so there's very little has got past me that I haven't seen or tried or owned. So on Friday I went down to the gun shop that I go to. It's where I buy things. I also do repairs for them. You'll have seen me repairing a few things. I've got a few things here to repair at the moment, and I was given this. Can you do anything with this? Now, I took one look at it, just didn't recognise it. Absolutely didn't recognise it. I thought, well, maybe it's some kind of a Crossman, but it didn't look like. I mean, it's kind of a bit 7.66-ish here. I thought, well, maybe it's a Daisy because it's got this bit here. I really didn't know. But it turns out it's a Smith and Wesson, and it's a Smith and Wesson air rifle called the Model 77A, and I have never heard of it. Last night, on two of the airgun forums that I go on, I actually put a post, the identical post on both forums. I've got a Smith and Wesson 77A. Anybody else got one or seen one? Nothing. Crickets, tumbleweed, not a single response on either of them. Usually on the AGF in particular, you put a post on there, bang, you got 15 responses. Not a single response. I've not seen one, and I'm not sure who has. I suspect all of my viewers, all 12.5% of my viewers that are in the States, are all jumping up and down going, me, I've had one of them, because this was made in the States. In fact, this was made, let me just have a little look, it is stamped on the side here. Smith and Wesson Air Guns Division, Springfield, Massachusetts, well, Massachusetts, USA. So this was made in Springfield, Massachusetts. From the little I've been able to glean, that's a great word, that's a word of the day, glean from the internet, this gun was only made between 1971 and 1978/9. Around about that time is when production ceased. That is a short production run for an air rifle, but it does mean it's a child of the 70s. I mean, this really should be wearing platform soles, and it should have it's a glam rock air rifle. Do you want to be in its gang? And do you know what, I quite like it. It is, here's the thing, right? It's a pump up air rifle. Oh, there you go, all the way up, all the way back. It's a pump up air rifle, and who doesn't love a pumper? Now, I know from the Blue Streak videos I've done for you, they were very popular videos. A lot of people like those, and a lot of people told me about their stories of having Blue Streaks in the past, and quite a lot of you still now. So I would like to hear the same about this gun, because I only know what little I could find on the internet. So anything you can tell me, you guys can tell me about it, I would really love to hear from you. So it was given to me by the shop, because if you listen carefully, you'll hear this when I put it up and back. Hear that little there. The air is just coming straight back up again, straight back out again. It isn't charging. The air isn't going into it. I thought, oh, that's going to be a pain, having to take that apart and change the seals and stuff like that. But while I was looking at other things, this part here, the trigger guard, pulls forwards, and as you pull this forwards, the probe comes backwards. I thought, oh, that's good. But then, I can't remember how, but while that was in that position, the air doesn't escape. Oh, what about if it's in that position actually? No, the air doesn't escape in that position. So now it is empty, but I'm shooting towards my backstop. Air. We have air. We have pressure. It's working. So that's quite exciting. But I do need to know, was it a requirement from you that the gun be cocked before it would charge? I don't know. It could be that actually the hammer is resting on the valve, keeping it open, and I just need to adjust the hammer. But I don't want to take it apart for no good reason when, quite frankly, considering it's the same age as me, it's in a damn sight better condition. So I don't want to be buggering around in there if I don't need to. If I can give this back to the shop, to give it back to the owner to say, all you do before you pump it up is that, then you can pump it, then so be it. Another thing which is nice on this, the safety catch is there. It's an automatic safety. Okay, so you have to let the safety off before you can fire it. So that is, I mean, it is a really, really nice rifle. It's obviously a budget rifle. This isn't a high-end, expensive piece of engineering. This would have been designed, I suppose, for kids, for teens, for young shots, maybe even for people to use in the garden. Air rifles of this sort are a good garden gun. Okay, they're a good way of controlling small pests around the house without too much noise, without too much fuss or cost. They're a good thing. Just grabbing a magnet here, that's what I'm doing here. Because I also got to thinking, with the Sheridan Blue Streak, a lot of it is brass, because brass was cheaper to machine, easier to machine. So get my little magnet. I can tell this is an alloy receiver, okay, and it's an alloy. The woodwork is wood, by the way. I know in a lot of Crossmans you get fake wood that's plastic. This is actually wood, but the trigger's steel, so that's nice. It's got a steel trigger, and also the probe there, that's steel, not plastic. So those are really good things. The barrel is steel. Okay, so we know this hasn't got a brass barrel. The receiver is also steel, and the cocking arm there is steel. So from what I can see, put that over there, from what I can see, this is a wood and steel gun with the exception of the receiver. Now, many firearms, proper powder firearms, have alloy receivers because it's not pressure bearing. It isn't a requirement for them to be as strong. So to save cost, to save weight, they make them out of alloy. With that, you know, having said that, and just the trigger, okay, now I've been firing a few shots of this, but the trigger, when I let the automatic safety catch off, I was thinking, why isn't that moving? It's just, it's not excessive, there's no creep in it, it's just dunk and it's gone. It's not a light trigger, but it's not a heavy trigger, and most importantly, it's not a creepy trigger. And by creepy I mean when it fires, dunk, it feels like not quite breaking glass. It's not quite at the same standard as the target trigger, don't get me wrong, but it isn't crunch 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 crunch, oh, and it's gone. It's gone. And I'd be happy with that trigger on many mid-range budget air rifles today. I really would. So all that's really left for me to do now is test it over the chronograph. I've read Tom Gaylord's report on this, so I do know kind of what I'm expecting. I also know that 10 pumps is the maximum for this, and pumping more than 10 times has very little effect. So what we're going to do is run it over the chrono. Now, I've fired it, but not over the chrono yet. 3, 4, and 5, 6. That's possibly worrying. The actual pounds pressure of each pump is the same. 7, 8, 9. With the Benjamin, with the blue streak, it was getting noticeably more difficult with each pump. This one didn't. I'm hoping that doesn't mean that it's not actually storing much pressure, because I've only fired a couple of shots. Just the pellet came out. I know the pellet came out. Right, I've got some soup domes, 14.5 grain. I've already put 14.5 grain as my weight into the chronograph. So let's close that up. Put that down. Safety glasses on. Safety off over the chronograph. Well, it sounded shaky. Ah, well, there we go. We have got 535 feet a second, 9.2 foot-pounds. Now, that isn't vastly different to the results I saw on the, I can't remember his page now, but Tom Gator's at the BB Pelletier. Very knowledgeable chap. I read a lot of his stuff. Very knowledgeable. Not too dissimilar from that. So I'm thinking, I think he was getting 542 with his pellets, but he got more with 9. One. Did you hear that? I forgot to cock it first, didn't I? Is that normal? Please tell me, is that normal having to do that? But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, let's face it, 9. Let's face it, anything that you were going to shoot with this has run away because of all that clatter. It is by far the noisiest gun to operate. I've heard in a while, but hey, do you know what? You'd have it ready beforehand, wouldn't you? And I'm sure the accuracy of this is gonna more than make up that. There is no facility to fit an optic on there, okay? It's open sights or nothing. But as I say, I suspect this was a budget gun. I don't know. It is my supposition that this was a budget gun. A lad's gun. A boy's gun, if you like. And that's probably a young person's gun nowadays. Right, safety off. This is with 9 pumps. We've got 535 to beat. Excuse me. Too much coffee. 524. So no, I just thought I'd test that because in Tom's test, he got more power at 9 than he did at 10. I got more at 10 than I did at 9. He did go up to 12 pumps on his, even though the recommended is only 10, and it was a very small gain in power. And I'm not going to do that because I'm not sure the destiny of this gun. I'm stroking it. I shouldn't stroke it. I just love them. Love guns. I'm not sure the destiny of this gun. I don't know if it was a repair for a customer or a repair for stock. If it's a repair for stock, that means it's available. And quite frankly, if it's available, because it's something I don't have, never have had and never have seen, I might have to have it, but I'll let you know on that one. If that's the case, trust me, there'll be more videos on this. We'll just be outside. When the weather warms up, we're going to get a lot more videos of me outside actually shooting. At the moment, it's bloody freezing. I'm not going out there. But this is a beautiful gun, and it's a bit different, and it's, I don't know, is it a piece of history or is it just a piece of cheap chintzy tap? Please let me know. Please like, subscribe, hit notifications, leave a comment, tell me what you think about this gun or anything you know about this gun. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.